On masculinity, there is a pretty obvious ditch on both sides of the road. One of them is where you mistake machismo for masculinity.
Pull up in your mind, somebody who's over-the-top masculine. Almost every attribute that is identified is to be identified with apostasy. It's somebody who knows how to get super mad, knows how to get in lots of fights, pushes the line or regularly goes way over the line with alcohol, drugs, whatever.
Yeah, you can see those things early on in boys. In very, very competitive boys and strong-willed boys, you have that high testosterone level, and there you want to encourage the strength and the energy and the ambition and the competitiveness while correcting the harshness. But you don't want to crush it. So sometimes, it's sort of awkward and out there, and they're a braggart, they're boasting, that kind of thing. And you say, no, it's good to want to be great, but you may not boast. That's arrogance, that's pride. So that's what's disciplined. But when you discipline it, you tell them, but I love the fact that you love winning. Get in a fight with a friend or something like that, and it's like, well, sometimes you might need to fight to defend those who God has given you, but this was over a toy.
It reveals itself in kids telling lies about how awesome they are. It reveals themselves in little boys cheating at board games. It's like it reveals itself pretty quickly. And I think that parents are way too naive. They're not anywhere near cynical enough about how much a little boy will lie to win, and just start going down this rabbit hole of self-preservation and self-aggrandizement, which is gonna end, like that ends with a needle and roids in the gym, like where you'll go that far to be winning. And I would say part of that is lying to your children. Don't ever, ever lie to your kids. No, that means Santa Claus is dead. There was a St. Nicholas and he's dead now. That means all sorts of things. If you're telling them they're amazing, if you tell them they did a good job in their baseball game when they actually were pretty terrible, if you tell them that they're wonderful and they're not, it's a problem. I think I discovered this with my oldest. He was really little. It was the first time we ever raced, and we were like outside running, and just without even thinking about it, I kind of did a slow shuffle, next to him, doing a little Chariots of Fire action while he was going his very, very hardest, and he beat me. I let him beat me. And I'm like, oh, great job, buddy. You're so fast. I did that immediate young dad thing that I gave him. And he turned around, and this is the moment when I started thinking about how people lie to their children. And he turns around and, he's got his hands in the air. He's this little fat-faced toddler, and tells me, it's like, I am faster than you. And I was like, yeah, way to go, man. He's like, I'm faster than everybody. And I was like, And he's like, I'm faster than Jesus. And I was like, okay, so I still have one line of dialogue, which was, way to go, buddy. Like, you're so fast. And he's now blaspheming. It's like we have this like escalation from it's like, I'm faster than you, I'm faster than everybody, I'm faster than Jesus. We end up with discipline, and we're talking about respect and everything else. And I have to tell him, it's like, you're not really faster than me. Like, I just did that. Then he's like, no, I'm faster. I was like, okay, let's go back outside. And I just, I cooked him a whole bunch. And he still, even then, was like, I was faster than you that one time. And I was like, and I was just thinking, man, this is the worst thing I just did. I could not have done a dumber thing. And so from that moment on, it was just, there will never be anything like that. If you beat me at something and you're one of my kids, you earned it. Like, you got it. I'm not gonna sandbag something unless I'm doing it openly, unless I'm playing with my left hand or something like that.
Children learn by imitation. So if you see a boy starting to develop that kind of swagger, I would look around at some of his models. Who's he copying? Don't be foolish, bad companions, corrupt good morals.
Let's get out of here!
Men in general, even though we can have a sincere evangelical faith, we quite easily have like these secret longings for ungodly masculinity. And we regularly put those models in front of our sons, our athletes that are our stars, our business tycoons that are, extremely successful, and we'll set them up as like, this is what it means to be a real man. But very rarely do you see men setting up truly godly examples in front of their son and saying, that's what a man looks like. When you read scripture, we have such great examples of strong, masculine, godly men. Each of these guys knows how to stand up boldly and really be a godly man and do it in a uniquely masculine sort of way. But we don't set examples like that before our boys. And I think that if you're a young man growing up in that, you're conflicted because you keep getting this conflicted message and like, so tell me, what do you really want me to be when I grow up? Like, if I was that, the NFL star that had lots of women, fast cars, all of that, if I was that, would you be so proud of me? And it's funny because the way a lot of these boys are being raised, they could be forgiven for not knowing what their real goal ought to be because their dads aren't clear to them like, no, that would be a failure because you'd be walking away from the most important thing. This is what a real man looks like.
The machismo vibe is very brittle. The person involved doesn't want to take responsibility for failure, which is what excuse making does. Teach them how to say, no excuse, ma'am. Boys need to be taking opportunities to put things right without making excuses.
Oh, I hate excuse making. There's always an excuse. One of the kindest things you can do for a little kid who's making excuses is not give a rip. I've seen guys who have older sons who are doing really well in many ways, but still have this impulse to whining or self-pity. And they're, 17 now or 16, and they still have the strong impulse, but they've like, we did all the things, we played all the sports, we lifted the weights, he worked out with me, we fought, we did all these things, but he still whines. And the reason why is because the entire time, all 16 years, is you listened to his excuses. They worked. And so he's programmed to look for that and to always have something to complain about. Because whenever he has that thing to complain about, he's protected from failure. He's got this get out of jail free card. Somebody to blame for something. And early on, mom is really not helpful in this. That 4-year-old boy is trying to give an excuse, or my tummy hurts. There's a certain amount of like, well, let's see if you're throwing up. Otherwise, we're sucking this up, kid. Like, if they get a bunch of attention when they find those excuses, then they're going to find you more. My dad's fond of saying, you get more of what you subsidize and less of what you penalize. Well, there you go.